All right, welcome back to another Tech Debacles at Kimchi Rednecks. Since we're kind of in that whole self-isolation thing, we decided to, make some changes. So one of which is we have decided to move the computers out of the big room upstairs, and we moved both of the beds in here. That way, we've got our big TV and our media PC over there. That way, when we want to sit down and chain watch some Netflix, we got room for us and the doggies to lay out. But that's not what this video is about. Since we moved the computers out of the big room, we moved them in the small room over here. Let's see over there. All right, so for the quick unnecessary walkthrough here, we have set up the computer desk over here. I did actually get some single arm monitor stands so that we could put the monitors up there. Actually, I bought Melissa a new monitor, but I was kind of stupid and ordered the wrong size. 32 inches is a big monitor. For some reason, I thought my other monitor I have over there, my 4K, was a 32 inch, but it's a 27 inch. So Melissa now has a really big 1440 monitor to go with her little monitor on the sides. Isn't it cute? Anyway, we got the computers set up over here. We got our little desk over here that we got our printer on. I may actually put my server on once I get it set up, but that's not a thing at the moment. Let me show you what I'm going to be doing. All right, so what I got at the moment is this. We are going to, right now I've got both of the computers on one power strip running out of one socket over here, which is not really the way I want to do it. I want to split the load a little bit. So I've got another power squid. By the way, I love these over standard power strips because these are movable, so you can plug a big brick into it or a regular plug. They're different lengths so they don't all get bound up together. These are wonderful things. I recommend these over a regular power strip. But I got one of these, and thanks to Amazon finally delivering all my stuff. This stuff was in the mail when they started doing the essentials being shipped first thing, so all this stuff got stuck in the mail for a while. But I've got a long extension cord, so I'm gonna plug this into an outlet over here, run it around the back of the room, and then plug it into the power squid, which I'm going to run my PC off of that one, and Melissa's is going to stay on this outlet over here. I've got a bunch of little command hooks and strips. So I've got a 30 or a 35 foot Cat5 cable that's going from my router in the other room along the wall that's kind of just laid across the floor in here at the moment. I'm going to use those little hooks to kind of organize it along the floorboard a little so it's not just laying out on the floor. And that is going to plug into the piece de resistance. I have this new Netgear switch that I'm going to use in here in the office. So what is the point of this switch and why am I so happy about it? This is a multi-gig switch. Now, multi-gig meaning that when you plug a regular computer into a network, it's going to detect whether you run at 100 megabits or 1000 megabits, which is a gigabit. And that's usually more than enough for most home networking stuff. But if you read a lot of stuff across NAS hard drives or network available storage devices or that sort of thing, or direct from computer to computer if you're doing that sort of thing, then gigabit can wind up getting a bit restricted. So what this is, an 8-port switch, sorry, this is a 10-port switch that is 4 standard gigabit ports. It has 2 that do gigabit and 2.5 gigabit, so 2500 megabit. It has 2 that will do the same as that, but also adds 5 gigabit, so 5000 megabits. And then it's got 1 copper 10 gigabit port and 1 spot for a fiber SFP. So if you wanted to run this as an extension off of a fiber backbone, you could run it to that, and then you got all these ports available. So my computer over there has a onboard 5 gigabit port, so I'm going to be able to use that one. For the wife's computer here, I've got a 2.5 gigabit card that I got off Amazon. That was like 40 bucks. That's actually pretty good. 40 bucks used to be like what you would get a regular, man, I'm old. I remember when you used to get 10 100 cards for 40 bucks. You may still be thinking, well, that's 5 gigabit and 2.5 gigabit, but why would you need 10 gigabits? So eventually I'm going to build my home server, which I have all the stuff for in the other room. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. One of the pieces I have for that is a 10 gigabit card. Now, one thing you might wonder about with all these gigabits I'm rambling on about is cabling, because your standard Cat5 network cable is only rated to 1 gigabit. So it's only rated to 1 gigabit for its full length. At shorter distances, Cat 5 or Cat 6 can go higher. So for like the 2.5 gigabit that I'm going to put in Melissa's machine, the standard cabling she's got on it, because it's only going to run 6 feet, should be more than enough to handle the 2.5. For the 5 gigabit on mine and the eventual 10 gigabit on the server, I have these little 15-foot roll of Cat 7 cable. So this is rated for 10 gigabit. My plan for today is I'm gonna run this wire around. I'm gonna hook this switch up. I'm gonna run my power cabling around, and then I've got to install this card in Melissa's computer. And then, in theory, which is a wonderful place that I can't really find on a map, everything should be connected and running at full speed. Now, this will obviously not help my upload, download speeds from the internet, because that's going to be dictated by my router, which only has gigabit ports. And I think my network connection only goes to like 100 megabits anyway. That's still really fast for network, but when I get done, we'll see what it looks like. So let's cut to that time lapse. All right, so just a quick note. I figured while I was down here moving the machine around, I would go ahead and install the 2.5 gig card here. So as you can tell, I got it in one of the little slots down there, because I don't need a full size slot for that little card. It's not going to use that much bandwidth. I've got my card installed. It comes with a little CD, but since I have my onboard networking here, first thing I'm going to do is turn it on and see if Windows Update has a driver for this, because I've had some experience before with odd brand graphics cards where their drivers wouldn't work, but the generic Windows drivers would. So I'm going to try that first. All right, well, when I plugged the power squid in, my monitors blinked on. So now, let's see what happens. That's a lot of fans, but I don't have any lights on my front panel. Let's take a look. All right, so nothing major, just it got stuck in the memory timing and it needed a quick reboot, and then it came right up, so that part is good. So now, I'm going to run the network cables for these two machines and lay them out here in about the area where the switch is going to wind up being, and then we'll see what progresses from there. All right, I don't know how well this is going to come through the video here, but now that I got everything plugged in, it detects a Realtek 2.5 gigabit controller installed from Microsoft, so that should be good. Give me a second here and I'm gonna plug it into the other card and let's see if it works. All right, so we've got that plugged in and we have an Ethernet connection at 2.5 gigabits. Yay! So let's pull up a quick speedtest.net. Finding optimal server. Come on, hurry up. Well, it took a second to resolve, but okay. Ping 4 milliseconds. Getting a solid 85, 86 megabit down. 94? How am I getting 94 up at 85 down? That's kind of backwards. Normally your download is better than your upload. But, so, that's a good connection there. Now, let's pop over to my machine and see what it says. Welcome to what my setup looks like from the chair. So I got my 4K monitor over here, and I got my 19 by 12 turned sideways over here so I can have multiple windows and whatnot open. So, according to, I got 2.5 gigabit. Did I plug it in the wrong one? Let me check that real quick. All right, after a quick check, I was in fact incorrect. My board does not have a 5 gigabit card on board. It has a 2.5 gigabit on board. So I was wrong there, but I still got 2.5 gigabit. That is recognizing correctly. And let's see what yield speed test says. I'm getting a little faster on the download here. Got 92 down, although my ping is 8 milliseconds instead of 4. And I'm getting about 90 down, so that is not bad. Well, everyone, there's me upgrading my office network. I've got a nice little switch put in that can handle up to 10 gigabit copper on the local network. I've got both of our machines here plugged up and running at 2.5, so that's twice as fast as your average home network. Whenever I get my server built, I'm going to take down my NAS system and I'm going to move it over into the server so that it can run off a 10 gigabit and have all the speed that it's possibly going to get. And you know, then if I want to store my data files on my server and then just create my scratch files to my local disk, I don't have to store them locally and, you know, all that good stuff. Anyway, that is me rambling on about technical stuff that's not important to pretty much anybody. Thanks for staying along. If you're still here, like, subscribe, do the internet stuff, and let me know if you have anything you want my opinions on technical wise. I am more than happy to run my yap on camera. Have fun. We'll see you next time.